The whole world knows the story of this house.
There's activity in the basement. Something's happening at the well.
Now, its terror takes on a new dimension. As the horror reaches out beyond the edge of the screen.
Is anyone in this room gonna be dead before next year?
No.
Amityville 3D. A couple questions, I guess, just to start for you, Mr. Beckmann.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Amityville, quote, legend or quote unquote true story? And how do you feel about movies that are in 3D?
Well, that's kind of a two-part answer. As for the story itself, I don't know. I want to believe, but the older I get, I start to doubt certain stories a lot more. There's definitely been a lot said since the passing of both the Lutz patriarch and matriarch and how sketchy they were.
No, yeah, I agree. I think if you want to believe this story, you can. And there is facts. There was a family that got killed in this house.
Yeah.
Everything about the second family, I think we can conclusively say is fake. Like, the lawyer said that they came up with the whole thing over a bottle of wine. The author of the book was told that he was told just write whatever he wanted and make it scary. Like, This does not sound like true accounts to me. There's been this new recent documentary called My Amityville Horror, where the youngest kid is now coming forward, and it really came across to me as someone who was spent his entire life scared of his stepdad, and now that his stepdad's gone, he's like become him, to the point that he's trying to make money out of the Amityville thing. That's my problem with Amityville, is like usually anybody talking about Amityville, they have a tell when they're full of shit and their mouth is moving.
Yeah.
So I'm not connected to that, oh my god, this is grounded in the real world. And that's really going to be helpful for Amityville 3D. What I don't have here in a realistic way, even though the DVD I have tries, is the 3D. I tried to watch it with the grainy 3D and the glasses. I confess, I just went back to the regular version to watch the movie. I actually found it was taking me out of the movie. So.
Yeah. Well, the opening credits are quite hilarious because it keeps on having that tree branch, like sort of tap against the screen or something.
Yeah.
And I just kind of went, uh-oh, this is not a good sign. But at the same point, and this is talking about, they were working with the technology on what they had. I watched Jurassic Park recently on TV, and that's 1996.
93.
And it's starting to show its age a little bit. The CGI still looks good in the dark, and to this day, it looks a lot more realistic when it's done at night. But some of the dinosaurs during the day look very computerized.
They look animated, yeah.
Yeah. Now this isn't Deep Blue Sea bad or Escape from LA bad, but I mean it looks dated. So for me, I guess for some people that kind of go, man, that looks dumb, it looks fake. I just kind of go, you need to give the film a bit of a break because this was the technology at the time.
I will accommodate the movie for the effect shots that they were trying to do for the 3D enhancements. The same way I complained about this talking about Friday the 13th in 3D. There are gags that are clearly just being done for the benefit of the 3D. And when you're not watching it in 3D, all these gags do is slow down the movie. It's just true. It's just true. But I'm not going to use that as a real whipping stone to hit the movie with.
Yeah.
I'll actually say a couple things about this movie because it was hated when it came out. And I'm not overall positive on it, but I think it actually starts okay.
Okay.
I like them sort of introducing the main characters sort of exposing these frauds that have been staying in the house. Interestingly, not being fucked with by the ghosts, apparently.
Yeah.
But that we established that we have a skeptical character, which is why he has no problem buying the house for cheap. A lot of people, again, when the movie came out, had a real issue with this guy. Why would you buy that house? And again, when you're fighting a movie on that level, why did you buy your ticket? I mean, if you're going to say, why are they living in this haunted house? Like, well, why did you buy a ticket to watch a movie about people living in a haunted house?
You're just being a dick at that point. Apparently, the lead character is based off a real person who, and I think his name was Stephen Kaplan. I could be wrong, but there was this individual who, when the Lutzes were alive, and the Lutzes actually tried to phone him first to convince him to, make their story more authentic or believable. And he did the reverse. Like, he actually spent a good portion of his career trying to prove the Lutzes was a hoax.
Right.
So they based this character off that individual. Yeah. Which I thought was an interesting angle. So I agree with you. I thought it started off on a good note.
And for the record, at this point, the DeFeo family had been killed in that house. At this point, probably 10 or 15 years before. And the one family that had lived in the house lived there for 1 month and fled, but nobody had died.
Yep.
So, like, really, I don't feel like there's a lot of heat to the argument. How dare they decide to live in the house? Yep. The problem does start once they get to exploring the house and weird, strange sort of, is it a continuous thing? Like, they couldn't directly reference, apparently legally, things that happened in the previous movies, but they could use the name Amityville. So it's a sequel, but it isn't. This whole well at the bottom of the house is a new creation.
Yeah.
So it feels, other than the house, I guess, a little bit adjacent from it. And the 3D is slowing things down. I like that we have a skeptical character in the sort of heart of the movie. I think that his 80s permed hair is kind of hilarious, but I get over it.
Yeah.
And there's some sort of warm distractions to the left and right. I like Candy Clark a lot. I think she's always been this warm presence in horror movies, and she almost always gets extinguished. you know, this movie's certainly no exception. And of course, an early role for Meg Ryan and Laurie McLaughlin, is it?
I think it's Laurie Lawton.
Who was recently the big controversy about this, university scams or whatever. But
she got caught with her hand in the cookie jar.
Whoops. Or buying her daughter into the school or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, both of them no names at the time that this movie came out, and now watching it today, you're like, oh, look how young they are, and look at them. In a lot of ways, Meg Ryan's character is kind of a difficult one in that she's the character who does everything wrong. Oh, you live in the ghost house? Let's have a seance there. Let's explore. Yeah. Let's push our luck as far as possible. But I don't know if it was because it was her or just because it was well performed. I kind of went with it in a way that maybe I would have fought with another character, another actress.
Yeah, no. This script, and the problems do lie with the script.
Yeah.
Because the actors are really, they're trying hard. They have to swallow some pretty bad lines. So I give the actors credit for working with what they had.
Okay, and I have, for the record, run out of positive things to say.
Yeah. This movie, like a lot of horror films, suffers from, I would like to say, smart people doing incredibly stupid things. Even in movie logic, I mean, this house has known for the brutal murders, and even though they can't mention by names, the Lutz family fleeing after a month. So what's a good idea? Let's have a seance in that specific house.
Yeah.
Good idea, folks. And what could possibly go wrong?
And there's weird, strained family dynamics, like the main character has a broken marriage, but trying to maintain a good relationship and a shared connection with his daughter. His daughter ends up drowning, but beside the house. Not that I expected everyone to live through the movie, but I kind of thought that character was going to have more of a card to play in the movie than she ended up having.
No, really?
Well, I mean, not that I was shocked. I just thought there would be more to it.
Yeah.
She drowned.
Yeah.
We see her ghostly sort of drenched form, but in a weird way, this drowning of the daughter, it's almost portrayed as the thing that's going to repair the relationship with his wife, which
Yeah.
I feel like if anything, that would be the opposite. Their already broken relationship would be hereby. The only thing that they have keeping them connected would have been their daughter, and with her loss.
Well, look, but look, we see them walking off together, but time would march on. I don't see those two getting together,
No.
staying together. And poor Tess Harper, she's given not a lot to work with. Her character is sort of like one note, and that is bitter and bitchy. Really,
I'm angry. I'm worried. I'm sad.
Yeah.
She's a completely reactive character, but she doesn't really do much other than express her feelings of, I'm not happy with how things are.
Yeah.
And I guess you can empathize with that, but we also have Robert Joy showing up as this, I guess, parapsychologist.
Yeah, no, the genre favorite Robert Joy. It was good to see him. And once again, talking about smart people doing stupid things.
He might win the prize for that in this movie.
Yeah. Let's kneel right by the spectral, toxic, demonic well and say we have to draw it out. And what could possibly go wrong?
Well, and there's one thing, being eager and excited by it, even having that eclipse your fear. But by this point, they've seen enough fucked up stuff that there's reason to believe this is not a friendly force.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do something to protect yourself, just in case. Have something to hang on to in case, I don't know, some creature comes and tries to drag you into the well. Basic precautions, basic quote-unquote scientific precautions. And again, that's where the movie's kind of it gets hilarious. The real estate agent having yeah, that's exactly right. It reminded me of Ghostbusters when they try to tackle the ghost in the library because they have no plan at all. That was Robert Joy in this movie.
Yeah.
And it also just had things that, the real estate agent dying of a heart attack. It felt like this movie's version of the priest being attacked by the flies.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel new enough.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the thing, the fact that his real estate agent had a heart attack in that house. Oh, that's an omen. That's a bad omen. Well, he's a skeptical guy. He doesn't believe in bad omens.
Yeah.
And, if you could get, a huge house for, a third its market value, that's a real boon.
Oh yeah. No, I think my biggest gripe of this film, well, one, it's really aiming for the teenage crowd.
Yeah.
And that means that you can maybe get away with stupid stuff, but to the other casual viewer, you're like, no, wait a minute, no. There are too many characters in this movie, I feel. If they really just focused on the pathos and the dynamic of the family, then the emotional payoffs that the film wants you to feel by the third act, you would feel. But because we've crammed this film with, the lead characters...
work partner and a bunch of superfluous teenagers. Yeah.
And
I like Candy Clark, and she does arguably have the best death of the movie.
Yeah.
But you're right. If she was edited out of the movie, I don't know how much it would have lost.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I like Candy Clark as well, and what she does in the movie. One of my favorite sequences in that film is when she's publishing the photos and looking at them closely and sees that demonic fly with that monster head in it. That made me giggle and go, oh, okay. She's good in the movie, but you could take her out of that movie and it would affect nothing of the overall narrative. And same with the real estate agent. He's introduced, and we know right away that he's going to be dead within the first half an hour of the movie,
and his really, death doesn't have any impact in the movie. It doesn't, it doesn't. I guess it's just something that can be scary early in the movie, I suppose. Yeah. But we didn't care about him. We predicted it, and there was no. It was kind of by the numbers, and I guess that's what it feels like to me. I came in soft on it just because I was looking at reviews to period of this movie, and I felt like people were like aggressively, hostilely, like belligerently shitty to it. Yeah. I just think it's kind of lame. It's kind of meh. Like, I have watched way worse movies than this.
Oh no, I agree with you. Like, I don't think it's the train wreck that a lot of these hyperbolic online movie reviewers or even journalist movie reviewers make it out to be. But it's also incredibly dumb. Yeah. Like,
it's meant to be forgotten. The fact that we're still talking about it this many years later is, well, it's kind of crazy, to be honest. Like, it deserves its obscurity, but like, it doesn't deserve to be this hated thing. And again, Candy Clark's death, like, she's had two very memorable horror movie deaths to me. Like, they use the 3D to make you think she's going to get speared by the pole. Yeah. It comes crashing through the windscreen, but it doesn't skewer her. It just pins her in the car, and then the car starts on fire, and she cooks in it. Yeah. Like, that sucks, girl. And we liked her, and she did everything right. Same like in The Blob. She was friendly. She gave the kids a free meal. She had a crush on the friendly sheriff, and she gets killed for no good reason.
Well, yeah, and she has that great scene where she's utterly terrified in the house, and then our lead character comes into the house, and she's like, "Don't touch me!" Bro. Yeah. She's like, she gives her all and makes it really convincing, and runs out of the house screaming. So she, like,
I cared about her character more than any of the other ones. I don't know if it's just because I like that actress, but it's just a true statement.
Well, no, like, she's given some really good things to do in the movie. It's just it's just sad that you could honestly cut out her narrative, and it wouldn't change anything.
Just make the movie shorter. That's all.
Yeah, well, like, they could beef it up with a lot more focus on the family. Like, you look at a film like Poltergeist, which I'm sort of, that's the sort of high watermark. We spent the first quarter of that movie, we spent a lot of time with the family, getting to know them, getting to know the relationships between them, and slowly the supernatural stuff starts to come one by one, and then it really explodes. And if they'd focused on that element, that we've got this family that is splitting up, but they still love each other, especially they their main focus is their daughter. And spoilers, when she's murdered, aka drowned, we kind of go, but if we had more time with her, and especially away from her,
or if the movie was using the themes of grief, or if it was using the themes of this broken family, but really it's wanting to be after all of this darkness and the family being ruined, it wants to be a popcorn fun jump scare movie, and it doesn't really succeed at being any of those things particularly well. But I just want to just lower the temperature of the hate. It's watchable. If you want to watch an Amityville movie, this is another one. But do not get excited about it. Do not overpay for it. When people used to channel surf, it would be like if you bumped into it while you were channel surfing, maybe that was the day. Fate decides that you're watching Amityville 3. But it's you know what? Shall we do it? Can we give it? It's fine.
It's fine. I also think it was also a reactionary to make it a little more palatable, considering what number 2 is.
Well, that went to sort of the teeth and tissue of the actual crime, the origin of the house.
Not only that, but number 2 is a nasty, nasty movie.
Right. Like, this one wants to be more fun in spite of the darkness it's playing in. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a whole incest storyline that is it's gross and icky. Yeah. And you leave that movie just kind of gutted a little bit. So to go the opposite direction where, it's going to be a horror movie, but with a lot of, jump, boo scares, but it's going to be, it's trying to be light and fun. Like, we have a conversation with Meg Ryan saying, I wonder what's it like to have sex with ghosts. And I'm just like, okay.
I've seen The Entity, and by that portrayal, not super good, actually.
No, it's not. But anyways, I agree with you. By that rationale, it's fine. I think it's for horror movie aficionados, and I think it's for Amityville completists. I don't think it's the worst movie in the series either.
Yeah, but good enough. Boom.
Yeah.